Hello, my name is Samantha Moore, and this is my self-improvement presentation. Um, to begin, I have a quote. It says, "The secret of change is to focus all of our energy, not on fighting the old, but on building the new." The book that I reviewed is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Powerful Lessons in Personal Change by Stephen R. Covey. The purpose of this presentation is just to bring my personal tips and techniques and concepts that I learned from the book just to surface so everybody can learn them as well, because sometimes it's just easier to learn from other people rather than reading. And I feel like there's some really great concepts and tips that are reviewed within this book. So I'm just excited to tell everybody about it. So some of the comparisons between our personal textbook for the course and this specific book that I chose are listening styles and self-concept. The three main points that I'm gonna be reviewing from this book are how to be proactive, the win-win thinking, and how to become an active listener and or seek first how to understand rather than just be understood. So my first point is about how to be proactive. I found a really great quote that goes along with this by Walt Disney himself. Everybody likes Walt Disney. It says, "The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing." So when it comes to being proactive, it's always about getting out there and jumping ahead, doing and not quitting, not giving up. So, what it means to be proactive overall is just understanding that in order to achieve goals that you set for yourself, you have to be able to analyze yourself in general and your characteristics. So, what characteristics you have that are going to help you succeed. By this, I mean like being able to examine like our own character, and to determine what qualities we see in ourselves, what we don't see, how we can fix them, and what we can do to maintain them and just jump ahead. Another point that has to do with being proactive is the difference between proactive and reactive. So, proactive is focusing primarily on like you and how you can fix yourself and understanding that you're responsible for all your actions and how exactly you go about them. When you think about reactive, it's blaming your environment or your surroundings in general for all the wrong that's going on. So instead of saying, I have complete control over my future, you're saying, like, there's nothing I can do. So you're being negative in comparison to the positive. Another great one is, I'm more than willing to learn and expand my knowledge and understand new concepts in comparison to I'm just the way I am. In order to become more proactive, we have to be able to have an open mind and be able to take comments without getting hostile, critiques, those kind of things in order to expand, to reach our goals, and to succeed in what we're trying to do. So rather than saying comments such as, she makes me so upset, you have to say something like, I'm in control of my own emotions and nobody can affect that. So if you don't have control over it, there's no reason to be reactive to it. So my next point is going to be communication and win-win thinking. So my explanation of win-win thinking came directly from the text. It says, in order to establish effective independent relationships, we must commit to creating win-win situations that is mutually beneficial and satisfy each party's needs. So by each party, I mean you and another person. So there's different kinds of lose-lose, win-win situations. Some of them that are discussed within this book are win-win, win-lose, lose-win, lose-lose, win, win-win, or no deal. So among these different types of combinations, the best to create is a win-win. That way it's beneficial to both parties rather than just one. When I think about this specific concept, I think about communication. In order to benefit both parties, each party has to know how to communicate with one another rather than just assuming, because with assuming means one party's probably gonna get the short end of the stick and the other party's gonna get the long end of the stick. So when it comes to like lose-win, someone loses something. When it comes to win-lose, the other person loses something. But if you have good communication, it's just a great way to benefit each other. That way you both win. That's the point of win-win. With the win-win mentality, which is part of the win-win, you have the abundance mentality, which is someone that believes that there's more than enough out there for everyone, in comparison to the scarcity mentality, which is someone who thinks that there's a zero-sum mentality, which means if you get it, I don't. So that means there's only one. My next point is learning how to be an active listener and how to basically seek first to understand rather than just to be understood. I do have a quote that goes with this. It says, "You've spent years of your life learning how to read and write, years learning how to speak, but what about listening?" A lot of times we listen to other people's problems and respond to them automatically. That's not necessary. Sometimes it's just great to listen to what other people have to say rather than responding. So being an empathic, I don't know how to say it correctly, listener is just a great way to just be a listener. Part of being a leader is learning how to listen. Another really great quote that I pulled out just for this section is, most people listen with the intent to reply, not to understand. So to wrap up this presentation, we just need to understand that we need to build new, like new build, however you want to say it. Just don't be afraid to expand our knowledge and try new things. Like I said, the book I reviewed is The 7 Habits to Highly Effective People, Powerful Lessons in Personal Change by Stephen R. Covey. The purpose of the presentation is just to review the tips, techniques, concepts that I learned personally from the book to life through explanation and understanding on. The points I reviewed were how to be proactive. With that being said, the explanation would be we learn in order to be proactive, one must understand responsibility for their actions. The second point was communication and think win-win situations. This concept concentrated on making relationships and are beneficial for both parties. This also means that we must understand how to communicate effectively. The final point I reviewed was how to listen empathically. Empathically. There we go. So we need to learn how to listen, to just listen without reply unless it's needed. Anyways, so my name's Samantha. Thank you so much for watching my video. Have a great day.